guys, it's Kristen with Simply a Steward, and I am back with my Rising 6th Graders curriculum for the 2020-2021 school year. That is a mouthful. I can't believe that we're starting the new year pretty soon here. Some of you may have already started the new school year, and my curriculum is falling over. So, I'm going to preface this by saying, I say it in all my videos about curriculum because I'm long-winded and have a lot to share. You might want to get a cup of coffee, but looking at the stack of books she has, you might seriously want to buckle in and get comfy for a little bit because this is a lot of stuff. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that to say that she's going to be doing schoolwork all day long, every day. But it's really for two reasons. One, because we do have a little bit more schoolwork this year, I think. And that's primarily because she's hitting that kind of middle school age. It's still less than I feel like she would have done in brick and mortar school. We took it, I don't want to say per se light, but when we left the cyber school arena, I didn't want to push too hard because she was really struggling because they pushed so hard. And so we've kind of done a little bit lighter than what her peers may have been doing, although I feel she's on target for her age. But this year, I think the workload's going to get a little more intense just because I want her to learn that the older you get on, it's just kind of the way life works. Your workload does get a little more intense. But we still do a lot of life skills and hands-on and, going to activities with other homeschoolers and all those kinds of things. So this is just the book curriculum. The other second reason I feel like there's a lot is because she chose some of her own curriculums this year, and they came with not just a textbook or a teacher book, but they came with a lot of other books. And so I'm going to briefly share those with you. None of this is going to be a super in-depth look. It's just a quick kind of look at what we'll be doing for the upcoming school year. If anybody is interested in a thorough review or look through of any of this, please let me know down in the comments. And at the end of every school year, I always check in and kind of give you a review of how these things worked or didn't work for us, because sometimes that information is just as, if not more so, valuable. So without further ado, we're going to dive into what my sixth grader will be doing. And forgive me if I have to shuffle around here a little bit just to get materials, because there is a lot of stuff. So the very first thing I'm going to start with, and the thing she will probably start her day with, is this 1-year devotional by the Word of Life. If you have seen my other curriculum videos, you will know that this is last year's edition. This is the 2019-2020 version, and it is because we've never used this before, so that was not a big deal to me, what edition it was. But I have seen this for several years. Erica over at Confessions of a Homeschooler had shared it before, and it was on my top 3 devotions kind of list. But to pay $20 for an individual book when I could pay $10 to $20 for a book I could use for all of my students, I just couldn't financially kind of grasp that concept. We have moved away from the group approach a little bit more to individuals, just to having younger and older students, and my younger students needing a little more individual attention, and my older students kind of wanting to move through their day and not want to come back for group subjects. And group subjects were tough in the beginning of the day due to the way we do kind of our chore charts and all of those things. So I wanted the opportunity for them to do something individually. They've been doing just a simple devotion book every day that they got. I think this one they're using was the one they got at Christmas time. But these really were something for the homeschool year I had looked for. And when I jumped on their website to kind of price them out again and remember what they were half price for last year's edition. So I did go ahead and pick it up. Now, the 5th and 6th grade is a little bit more in depth than the younger students. My other daughter is using the 3rd and 4th grade, and it is set up, that in the 1st and 2nd grade is set up a little bit differently. So each day, and I'll just flip open to a day here. Each day has a page here, and so it's going to have a scripture, and then it has so this has a scripture, and then it has Y for yes or N for no, and it's about just different things within that passage. And then down here it's Noah built and offered a sacrifice to worship and thank God, to worship and show thanks to God, I will. And it's kind of like an application area. and then a little small fill in the blank down here, and it ends in a prayer. So it's not something super like intensive that's going to take them hours by any means, but it is more than the simple little block the younger students have. So I'm really thoroughly excited about this. She's thoroughly excited about this, and I can't wait to see how this works out for us this year. So, and I'm going to be kind of flopping things on the ground too, because I was putting them on the chair beside me, and it's filled with books this time. So these are in no particular order because they are literally just in the set, like in the stack of ways I could use them. So this is, and I will need 2 books out of here. You will see I have when I do a room tour, if you guys are interested, I have a whole set just for where her extra books go this year because she has so many. So we are doing Master Books, Elementary Geography and Culture. She had done Evan Moore in the past, and she specifically asked to do this. And within reason, I am trying, if I am able to financially afford it, let them pick a little bit more of their curriculum, because I like to learn about what I like to learn about. And so I feel my students are going to be the same way. I want them to love learning. So in order to foster that, I want them to kind of have a say in what they're learning about. And so geography is something that we already did, but she had seen this actually when we went to visit the Ark and was really intrigued by it. I had already bought her geography curriculum for that year, so we just kind of continued it. But she did ask me, and she remembered from last summer, if she could go ahead and do this. So we picked it up. So it does have these 2 additional books. I think overall Master Books is very affordable, but if you feel like Master Books, some of their extras are out of your price, you can always check on like the resale pages. That's where I find all of my stuff. So she has gone the entire way through both these books. Like when she goes to do the curriculum, it will take her moments. I'm sure of it. This will not be something, and that was something that was really encouraging to me as a mom, is when she got it, she went through all of her books like right away. She was taking them to bed, she was reading them, she was taking them in the car, like she is thoroughly enjoying it already, and we haven't even started the curriculum. So in the beginning, it does have the typical checklist, and then it does have, this has worksheets. There really is no other teaching type guidance in here. It's really just worksheets, and it is these small little, you can see up here, flags, and then some kind of hands-on food. Because if you follow my page, if you follow my channel at all, you will know that we eat a different than standard American diets. There's a lot of things we don't eat. We don't eat gluten, we don't eat soy, we don't eat a lot of corn. There's a lot of things that we don't eat a lot of. And so the food part is probably going to be out for us. It's probably something that we're just going to skip entirely in our family. That doesn't mean it wouldn't work for everybody, but in our family, because of that, I think this can easily be done in 2 days a week, just looking at the schedule. The one thing that we did do, because first off, I don't feel like she needs all of these pages. So for me to copy all of these pages for this little flag was kind of silly. And second off, you can see how small that flag is. They're just tiny. So something that we had purchased and they hadn't quite gotten into actually doing yet was this book by Usborne, and it's Flags of the World. And so I checked, and every flag that is in this book is in this book. And so I'm just going to use this book this year, and when she hits that, she needs to go in here, find it, and she needs to color it. And it has on the side, it shows you all the flags. So instead of going and looking it up on like a computer or something else, she can look it up within the book she's already using. So and that's provided that it's not in one of these, because it may be. So that is what she will be using for geography. And the other thing that has all of these books, I'm telling you guys, so many extra books this year. I'm going to have to set this all back up in my schoolroom, but it's worth it to share with you guys. And that is the Zoology by Master Books. So she is not a huge science fan. She does like learning about animals. She does like learning about nature. We actually did the Apologia Science, land animals, and she really enjoyed that. but she needed something she could work on individually and kind of at her own pace, and this really fit the ticket. When she saw this at the Ark, if you are not familiar with the Ark, when you go out to the Ark itself, they have like all these different gift shops in different areas, and they sell a lot of master books stuff there. So while we didn't buy any of it, she got to look at it hands-on, which was really nice, because we have anywhere that we have like some kind of curriculum place we can go look hands-on, except for the actual convention that's like 3.5, 4 hours away. So we never usually make it. So it's not something we get a chance to do. So when we were there, she really looked at all of this stuff, and she really thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, we went in September, end of August, last year, and so our curriculum had already been purchased. We had already actually started school for the year, so we didn't purchase new curriculum. We went with what we already had. And so when she came to me and asked again this year, I said if it's within reason, and we were able to find it on a resale site. So I picked it up. And again, this one has the checklist in the beginning, tells you what you need every day to do, which I think at her age is really great. For my younger students, that's more for me, but for her as a 6th grader, I feel like it's really important for her to be able to keep track of her own things. So what I did do, and I should have mentioned in the geography, is since she's not doing every page, I went through and highlighted the stuff she is doing and just kind of crossed out the stuff she's not doing, so that she knows how to make sure she's getting everything done. So she doesn't have to try and pick out which things she's doing and which things she's not doing. Now, this one does not really have the food stuff, so she'll pretty much be doing everything in this, but again, I think she'll be able to do this in about 2 days. So she'll be able to do geography 2 days and zoology 2 days. And some of the things are really simple. And, we are skipping. We are not doing the dinosaur stuff. She didn't really seem interested in it, and the dinosaur book we got was partially used, and so I was going to purchase a new one for her, and she just said she would rather not do it. So we probably won't do the dinosaur book stuff, which was fine for me. And so there's just some pages to show you. Again, if anybody wants a little more in-depth look, let me know. This is not a full curriculum review by any means or anything. It's just showing you guys what we're doing. And so it comes with these books. These are, if you can tell, like the binding will move on these. They're more almost like a binder. What is it? Yeah, they're spiral bound inside. So you have to kind of watch how you store these a little bit more than some of like just a hardback regular book like the geography books. But they are beautiful inside. And then this back pocket has stuff in it for games and hands-on. These, just look at that. Look, I mean, that just encourages me to read that. I'd want to read it, you know. So I'm very excited about this. That is the aquarium. There is also the zoo. Again, same exact setup. All of these pictures inside. There's information tucked into this, like, whoop, you can see. Just different things, different games, different information. Must not have been tucked in quite correctly. Here, I'll see if I can hold this up for you guys after I put this back. But different kinds of cards are all tucked in there to use for different things. So she, again, this, just like the geography, she has been all through this book. She has not got the actual workbook pages out at all. All of those things have been put in a binder for her, but she is very excited. She has been looking at these since the day they arrived. So this one has more than the geography. It does have this dinosaur book. To me, the dinosaur book almost seems kind of dated. I don't know. And it just wasn't something that interests her. She's not interested in dinosaurs. It's just not her thing. She's a 6th grade girl, not a 1st grade boy, you know. Not to say that 6th grade girls can't be, but she's just not. She's very girly and not into that kind of stuff. My son might get into this. So we are just going to skip this book in its entirety. I'm going to hang on to it because it's not completed. It's just there are some sections that are done. In case we do this with my son later, he may be interested in this. But that's not my daughter's thing. So, and then how many animals were on the Ark? And so again, I really love this book. All of these books are just put together in such a way that when you open them, they encourage you to read. So there's that. And then there's God's Big Book of Animals, and this book is big. Like, my coffee cup is giant, like compared to a normal coffee cup, and look. Yeah, this book is really big. But if I pull it back, show you, it just shows you different animals, and it has a picture and it has a page about their information. And this book, again, has been a book. It was not able to go with us in the car because it's just obnoxiously big, and I was afraid that she would like drop it and break it, the binding. But she does take this up to bed quite a bit and just sit and flip through it at night. So again, always encouraging to me as a mom when students are so excited about something that they want to take it with them where they go. So by Master Books, she is really loving her Master Books. We are also doing America's Story 3 this year. This is for 3rd through 6th grade, so we are going to go ahead and do this. We were kind of like at the end this time period when we had quit cyber school several years ago, and then we bounced around and we did like Story of the World, we did Mystery History, we did different group history programs. We are switching to basically an individual program this year, and so we did some of those just different time periods and jumped through some different things. And I decided, since we were starting over again individually, I would start her kind of back at the time period where she ended. And this, so we're going to end with this with the 6th grade. It is 3rd through 6th, like I mentioned, and then we will go start into world history next year with their other programs. So this is the textbook. Sorry, the lighting is kind of crazy out here today. The sun was beautiful and then it kind of went away. And you can just see the text. I mean, there is some reading, but it's not incredible. That would be like a whole day's reading, which for her, she reads above grade level. That would be no problem. Even for me to read to them, that's not that much of an issue, if you have a younger student who's not quite there yet. And then here is the teacher's book. Now, I do suggest you make copies if you intend to use this with more than one student. It does give you your checklist once again, and then it does have like some information and questions and answers. This is more like oral discussion between you as a parent and the student, or as a teacher and a student, if you're doing this in like a co-op or something. And then there's pages for the students to do. So these pages I've made copies and stuck in a binder for her. They are perforated. You could rip them out if you want to buy this. And for me, I have 3 more students that are following her and will likely use this, so I'm not ripping these out. I'm going to keep them intact. But you could easily do that and put it in a binder for your student that way also, and not have to make any copies. So this is new for us, and I'm sorry, again, I'm going in kind of a random order because they're just all stacked in the big stack that I had. And it is Mind Benders. So last year she did Sudoku for her logic, and she loves it. She still plays Sudoku all the time. But she wanted to try this. Her younger sister used this program last year, this type of book, and then over the holidays she was really begging me to find, so I found some on like Teachers Pay Teachers and stuff for like Christmas and Thanksgiving, and she really enjoyed getting to do them alongside her sister. And so this year I picked this up for her. So all of my students are actually doing Mind Benders except the youngest this year. And then we're doing Master Books Math. So if you followed me, you know that my younger students all do Horizons, and it is probably my favorite. But for my oldest student, math was never her thing. Math and writing, not reading, but writing were something she really struggled with when she was in the public school system. And so doing her charter cyber school. And so it was really intimidating for her, and she really struggled. And so we switched over to Master Books, and we have found that we love it. My neighbors have their landscapers today, and all their trucks go out. Yeah, that was what was just leaving. They came when I was doing another video, and they left now. Sorry it was so loud. Anyways, so we have done this. It is a much shorter This is an entire page for a 6th grader, you know. There's not a ton of problems on a page. But for my 6th grader, that's really good. And then we can incorporate like math games and videos and all of those types of things. You will see in an upcoming video, I also bought musical multiplication, I think that's what it's called, by the Good and the Beautiful, just those types of things to incorporate. So this isn't the only math that she'll necessarily be getting, but it's the only workbook math she'll be getting. And she does like this. She used it last year, and it was the first year that we had 0 tiers in math, so I'm very excited about that. So the rest is going to be kind of along the language arts side of things. Let me shift some stuff around here for y'all and for myself. The core, and you can see, yeah, I say the core, but look at all these books I have, right? And that's not including the stuff that's sitting over here. The core of the language arts program that we will be doing is language lessons for a living education. So heads up, if you're getting the 6th grade edition, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, I'm not sure about 2nd because I haven't done 2nd. 3rd, 4th, 5th requires the 101 Bible stories. 6th grade requires this book. I screwed up. I ordered an extra of the 101 because I thought my oldest and my youngest and my middle student would need it. I ended up with 2 books and only 1 student using it. So I resold it on one of the pages, and I went ahead and I bought the correct book. So you will need this book. Again, Master Books always knocks it out of the park. Their books are encouraging to read. Just something when I pick them up, they're engaging. So this is the book that you will need in addition to this book. And so this book, I asked her if she wanted to continue with it. We've kind of gone back and forth. We're not exactly sure how we want to work things out for the year. So we got everything that we might want to use. And we're kind of just going to wing it and see what works best for us at this point. So it's a 5-day program. If you are not familiar with it, again, checklist in the front as always. Day 1 typically has some kind of like reading comprehension or oral narration or something to that effect, okay? Day 2, and day 1 also has like a regular worksheet. So it's usually the second half of day 1. You can kind of see that. Day 2. And I'm not going to show you every day, but day 3 is the same way. It's all based on mechanics, grammar, punctuation, all of those types of things. Day 4 is, well, up to this point, I have seen it be some kind of like, it's like a picture study or something. It's in relation, or memorization, it's in relation to this book. You'll be using this book to complete day 4, whatever it is. This is a reading comprehension section. And then day 5 is always worked on spelling. Now, last year, my student did just do this as spelling. She was really struggling with spelling, and we were trying to decide where we were going from that, and she just needed a break from a spelling curriculum. And so we took that break, and she just did the spelling practice in here. Did her spelling actually improve? I'm not really sure that it did. I can't say that it got any worse. I've noticed her spelling getting gradually a little bit better, but I think that's because she reads so well opposed to anything else. She just reads so much that it naturally progressed, but I don't think it was because of the Master Books program. So we decided this year we would jump back into spelling, and I had seen this curriculum before. It was something I wanted to purchase last year, and it just wasn't in the cards for us financially. I didn't think there was any way I was going to financially fit it in this year either. But then I found a site specific for this curriculum resell, because I can't find it anywhere else, and was able to snag a set. I got part of it on eBay and part of it on like a resale site. But it is Phonetic Zoo. And so it's I don't want to say it's all auditory, but it's an auditory program where she will put these discs in and she will listen to them. And then there are 2 different sets of cards here. These ones were already ringed up by the previous owner. And then I had to buy these spelling zoo cards. I honestly haven't even opened them yet. We haven't started our school year, can you tell? but they have places for you to write on the back. And so these are different things that are going to be consumable for the students. So I had to pick these up separately, but these were only like $5. So and then they have like the teacher's manual and workbook, which this is probably the only teacher's manual I haven't gone through yet, because she took it up to her room and was looking through it. So I did pick this up then to do spelling. So we will entirely skip day 5 with that. Whether she chooses on the 5th day to just continue to day 1 of the next lesson, or whether she wants to use that day in some of these other things, I will leave that kind of to her. We're just going to put all of these things out there, and we're going to kind of figure it out as we go, to be honest, because sometimes that's what you have to do. So we did also get this Handwriting by The Good and the Beautiful. I guess that's kind of language arts. I've got more here. So it was just sitting in the stack. Like I said, random orders. But I do really love The Good and the Beautiful. We have fallen in love with it over the years. As far as a handwriting curriculum, it is my favorite. I have used this, and I was a strong advocate of Handwriting Without Tears prior to this, and I still think it's a good curriculum, but I have fallen in love with this. It is biblically based, like most of the things that we use, and so just a heads up if this is something that interests you. I'm really excited to use that program. My kindergartner is actually starting it. She'll be the first kindergartner to start with this program, so I am excited to see how that goes. Now, one thing, again, like I mentioned, the spelling, we're not doing the spelling. I don't feel that Master Books really hits hard on the composition part of writing. They hit really well on the mechanics. They do picture study, they do oral narration, they do all of those things, but they don't really hit on composition in any way. And my student really didn't like to write. She's never liked to write. It was one of the reasons, that was the first reason that hit me that I should try, and besides that, I had already had a heart for it and never followed it, kind of like that disobedience. You know how that is, mamas. And so, but it was the first visible sign to me in her public charter school, is when they were forcing her to write at such a young age. She began to hate anything writing. And so, not handwriting, but like composition, writing sentences, paragraphs. So last year we started lightly with some sentences and Evan Moore in addition to that book. And this year we decided to dive a little bit deeper. These were actually things that I was lucky enough to receive to review by Evan Moore. And so I do have a full review on my page if you guys are interested. But they are both the daily 6 trait writing. And now I had already picked up 5, so we're going to stick with 5, although they did send me 6. And the text-based writing nonfiction for grade 6. So you can see this is already marked. I don't have intentions of her doing this entire book. She will just use some of these pages, and the likelihood is she will not actually finish this book either. But I do want her to be progressing and working towards her ability to write more paragraphs. And so we used another Evan Moore book last year. It was not the 6 trait writing. It was the better paragraphs and sentences or something to that effect. And she really did progress. I saw some definite improvement in her. So I'm encouraged to use these this year. She likes nonfiction way more than she likes fictional writing or reading. And so I'm hoping that this will encourage her as well. So we got both of those. In addition, like I said, she might kind of work through the first 4 pages of each day are kind of easy. Like this is reading. And then some like, question and answer, multiple choice, some simple diagram, cause and effect. And then on the 5th day, we're writing. And so she might work through this at the same pace, and then on the 5th day it'll be a little more intensive, but she won't be doing the master books. I'm not sure. This one works the same way. Again, she'll only be doing this like 6 weeks out of the year. This book is, let me see, 5. This is 25. So this 25 and this 6 would be about a whole year. So she did one of each of these in correlation with that. But again, we'll see how it goes. I got 2 more books here. I swear, guys, I'm almost to the end. But the next book is this Flash Kids Vocabulary for Gifted Students. So, my oldest, who struggles in many scenarios, I shouldn't say all, but in many of the language arts type areas, does not struggle at all with vocabulary. She actually has a little bit more of an advanced vocabulary for her age. And so last year, when I was at Half Price Books, kind of just perusing what they had, I had found the grade 5 of this, and I really liked it. So it was only, I don't know, like $3 or $4 because it was half price there. And let me see, does it have, no, but I know I paid under 10 for this. They only, since they had that one, I picked it up and I brought it home, and she did it and she really enjoyed it. And so I asked her if she wanted to go ahead and work with that again this year, and she told me yes. So I did go ahead and pick this up. I think I was able to find it by a third party seller on Amazon. I believe that's where I got it. But this is not carried on Rainbow Resources or Christian Book Curriculum distributors or any of those places that I know a lot of us mamas find homeschool curriculum. So I did have to kind of search for this. It does have it on their website. If you are familiar with Winning with Writing or Soaring with Spelling, it's the same publisher, I believe. No, you know what? It's not. I lied because it's a different spelling program. I can see the book. It's striped. But anyways, nonetheless, I digress. It's not easily found, I should say. You have to go and look. You can look, it's Flash Kids, because that's Jacobson or something like that. Anyways, and so I did have to look for this. I did find it on Amazon by a third-party seller, but it was not as easily found. I'll just show you an inside page real quick, or two. And they do have other gifted books. So just on the back of this, I can see they have reading for the gifted student and they have math for the gifted student. So if you have a gifted student, this might be a good thing to look up. That book actually challenged her. So anything I've seen vocabulary-wise in any of her other texts at her age didn't really challenge her. I mean, it was work for her to do, but it was almost like busy work. So this one actually challenged her and made, I did see some growth in her vocabulary. So I was really excited about that. And the very last book that we will be using is All About Homophones. So this is by the same publisher as All About Reading or All About Spelling. I was introduced to this by another mom on YouTube because that's where I get all my curriculum information from. You guys rock. And I had seen it in her curriculum haul for the year, and I was really interested in it. So this does have, sorry, that was last year. So we used this last year, and I really liked it. It does have grades 1 through 8, and so I'm able to use the pages that are only for their grade. So I will be I did these of this because for my 6th grader, but you could easily buy one of these and just have them do the per year. But they just use different homophones, and they do one workbook page. So I just stick them in a binder, and she works on them throughout the year. I really do like this book. I really do think that it pushes home what the homophones mean. I think it pushes home how to spell them. I noticed a little bit of a improvement on her spelling in these words in particular. And I also feel that it drove home what a homophone was. I don't know about y'all, but when I graduated my senior year, I probably couldn't have told you what a homophone was. I don't think I could have told you what a homophone was until I became a homeschooling mom. Not that I didn't know a homophone, but the actual definition of which one's a homograph and which one's a homophone and all those different things. Yeah. So I think this really pushes home what a homophone is for them, and I don't think that that's something that they will easily forget now. So I really do like that factor as well. So that is everything. That is the whole bunch of books she will be using. Like I said, a lot of those are extra books for her zoology and geography and whatnot. But she's super excited about the school year, and so am I. If you guys like these kinds of videos, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down there below. Check out the playlist for some of our other homeschool videos, and I am sure there will be more homeschool content to come. So I will see you guys all next time. Bye.